Good afternoon, Internet. I'd like to start by saying I don't know how to use AI and I would never use AI. There is no AI in this video. So my poor French pronunciation and my gruff voice is what you will have to contend with. Anyway, today I'm going to show you a couple of French knives, lesser known French knives. I've not met many people, if any, that know about them. These come from a small town in southwest direction of France called Brive-La-Gaiiarde. Some years ago, way before COVID, I ended up there when my motorbike broke down on my way to Biarritz to the Wheels and Waves motorcycle meeting. And in between all the stress of trying to get everything done, I had time to have a little walk down the very beautiful, peaceful little town centre where I came across this shop selling penknives. Now this appears to be, it is a local design, and I'm not sure if he was the only maker, but I never seen them anywhere else in the area, and I never saw any other shops selling them. So I got to meet the maker of these. I got him to handle the knife and to look it over and oil it, so it felt, a little bit more special to me. And after going through maybe at least 50 of his knives, I chose this one, which I now know is Gabon ebony. I wasn't really so much into traditional penknives at that time, and I certainly knew a lot less than I know now. So this was the most expensive version of this one because it has screws or torsion screws, whatever, so you can remove the scales to clean it or change them if they got damaged, I suppose. I now realise that it wasn't really necessary, but this was the first one I bought, and it's kind of my favourite of the two because of that. Now, all of the knives had file work on it. This has it on the blade, the back spring, the belly and the butt. For me, really, I'd just as soon not have it. It doesn't do anything to the quality of the knife in that respect. But I like this particular cover, so I ended up this one with quite a lot of file work on it. Now, the blade is stainless steel. I've used it quite a bit over the years, amongst a rotation of many penknives, and it's still razor sharp, and I've never sharpened it or stropped it or anything. I think I said it's stainless steel. It has a nice belly on it and a reasonably pointed tip there, so it's good for puncturing into cardboard or into plastic. I've used it for food preparation. It will be ideal. It's a very good slicer, as you can see, the thin blade. It will be ideal for cutting fuel line, a myriad of things. Now, the blade length is less than 3 inches, and the blade cutting edge is 2.5 inches. So it's well within the parameters of the EDC laws in England. It's so well made. It's so sturdy. It's so strong. It's got a very good half stop, and then let it in. Now, the design of this is fantastic. There's no way that tip's ever going to come proud. You'd have to really wear the blade down. It has no nail nicks, as you can see. It's designed to be pinched open. Bearing in mind I have a weak hand, it's very easy to pinch open. I'm right-handed, but it's equally easy with your left hand. Very, very good design. And as you can hear, the snap is very strong. The spring is very, very firm on this, yet it's easy to close and easy to open. You'll notice that I close it gently. I don't snap it shut. That's what I used to do. So when I'd spoken to the owner and gone through a lot of the knives, he passed me over to his wife, and she was great. I really liked her. She was so direct. I said to her, might I have a slip for the knife? And she just frowned at me, looked me straight in the eyes and said, it's a pocket knife, put it in your pocket, which I thought was great. I just love the way she said that. And then she told me off for keep slamming it shut. She said, you must close it like this. And she was right. You don't achieve anything by slamming it shut, and you could get blade wrap, wear the mechanism out. I know it would take a long time, but I thought, well, no, this is good practice. And she said, don't get the the wood wet. I thought, well, that makes good sense, and oil it regularly. So I do all of that, and I now keep these in my pocket, and I very, very rarely use a slip. So this was the first one I bought. Many years later, a couple of years maybe, I thought I'm going back to that area because I'd like to go there when there's less stress, ride my motorbike, have a look around the area and visit the shop again. So then I bought this one. This has got more traditional pins, I guess you would say. So I forgot to mention on this, you have a slotted adjustment there, so you can adjust the tension of the blade. You also have that on this one as well, even though the pins are, you know, fixed, which actually now I'm more into traditional. I like that. I cannot remember what the covers of this are, but I like the covers, and I like the fact that it only had file work on the blade. Nothing. I mean, most people like file work. For me, it just doesn't do anything. So there's no other file work on this at all. Now, I have to say that the grip on these is fantastic. You can get 4 fingers up until the butt there, or you can put 3 fingers on, bring your hand back a bit, but the grip is really strong. It's a really good knife for whittling, cutting. It's what a knife should be. And while I was in the shop, I can't remember if it was the first or second time, some of his customers came in and were talking to him. I think at least one of them was a hunter, and they all had them in their pocket, and nobody had them on a sheath or anything like that. And it was great to see, you know, the customer service and all that. So yes, I really like these. I went back a third time and I brought another one, and I brought the larger version, but I didn't like the larger version. This seemed to be the perfect dimensions for this knife. The larger version obviously is a bigger blade, bigger handle. Maybe if you were a gorilla, it would be better for you. But I find the balance of this smaller one just right. And what had happened the third time I went there is the shop had been sold on. The guy had retired who made them, and there was another equally brilliant knife maker in there. But I asked him, I said, I would like to get, if you've got any of the original maker's knives, I'd like to buy those, and that's what I bought. But like I say, I've since sold them on. So I'm not sure what more else I can say about these. Let's have a look at the back. And then I'll just concentrate on this one. You can see it's a dull finish on this, even though it's stainless steel. It's not overly glossy. I've never sharpened either of these, and they're still razor sharp. You know, I mean, I haven't used it constantly for years on them because I've got a wide selection that I can go from. But if you could get hold of one of these, I'd highly recommend it. It's as good a quality as GEC has ever made, and it's a very practical knife. It's probably the one I should carry on the motorbike more often, really, because I had one of my GECs in the tank bag of my bike 2 or 3 years ago, and I got absolutely soaked, and I thought I dried it off, and I hadn't, and when I got it out, it was rusted. But this takes less maintenance. I know we're all really into carbon steel, but this is a great blade, great steel. No idea what the steel is. I can't remember if I told you the name of the knife. It's Le Coujou, if you want to Google it, which is L-E gap Coujou. And I love the way I found this shop, even though it was a stressful time at that time. Another time, years later, I was going through France again on my motorbike, and I saw signs for Lagoule. I hadn't planned it. I thought that can't be the Lagoule, and it was. And I went there. Lots of fantastic shops there, but a lot of the Lagoule, you have to be very careful, are not actually made in France. You really had to look for the makers there who were making them themselves, whereas these 100% are made in France by a French craftsman, and there's not hundreds of them around. Lagoule was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but I was really shocked because I thought they would have protected their name and not let them be made out of France. And also, what I thought was brilliant was when I was there was a market on, Everybody was using opinels in the market, and there was one lady had, I think, was it 10 or 12? It was a massive, massive opinel, the size of a sword, cutting up the fruit and all that. And she said, we use it for everything, you know, cutting down branches and everything, you know. It's a different culture there, totally different culture. Anyway, if you've got any information on these knives, or you've been to that area and you've seen the shop, I'd be very, very interested to know if it was still going. And if you have any information, because I don't speak French, about these, I'd be interested if you could let me know. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. And if you get hold of one, good luck. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. There we go. Just do it once more. Listen to that snap. Anyway, thank you very much for looking, and I hope you have a good day. Bye now.